Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking at the basic calculations in Numpy. The basic calculations in Numpy. Okay, so before we can perform any calculation in Numpy, we need to have an information. We need to have an array or an integer. So first of all, let us create an array. So to create an array, first of all, we need to import the library Numpy and we give it an alias which is a representation np. Then also we are going to use the print function now to show the attribute present in the numpy. The numpy is also known as a numerical Python, which is used for numerical and mathematical operations in Python. So I'll say dir, which is directory. So when we run this now, we can see we have many attributes present in our library, numpy, that is numerical Python. Now, the first thing we want to perform, the first calculation we want to perform is the log calculation. Okay, so the log calculation, you can see that we have log present in our library. So let's say we want to get the log of 500. So to have 500, we're going to assign it to a variable num 500. So to perform the calculation, I'll say print np, that's the library, then the attribute, that's the log, then I pass in the number. So please ensure you close your brackets. When I run this now, you see we have 6.23. So what we're just doing is we're just passing in the variable into the attributes before then we call the library. Okay, so that's for the log we did. Then if we want to do for the remaining calculation, that's the minimum number. So we're going to create an array. We're going to say num1 is equal to the np dot array. We'll give a random number. Let's have 4 random numbers. Okay, so now I want to get the middle number. So I can say using the print function again as well, np dot mini, then I pass in the variable holding the values num1. So you can see the middle number is 23. If you want to get the maximum number, I'll just copy this information and I paste it over here. So now we want to get the maximum number. So what I'm only going to change now is I'm going to change the attribute to max instead of mini. So when we run this now, we have 67. So the maximum number we have is 67 and the minimum number we have is 23. Okay, then if we want to get the square root, let's say we have a number, we call it num, all in caps, is equal to 100. We want to get the square root of 100. So to do that, we also use the print function and np, or we can use the variable saying the results is equal to np dot sqrt, that's the abbreviation for square roots in numpy, open brackets, then we pass in the variable num in caps, then we use the print function to print the variable holding the results, the calculation. So when I run this now, you see we have 10.0. That's how to perform the calculation. Then we can get for the sine, cosine. So to get for the cosine, we can just copy this information here, copy them, we paste it here. So I'm going to change this now to sine, or we can go to our variable, the list, and look for sine. Okay, so for the sake of time, I think I will use SIN, which is the abbreviation. So when I do this and we run, you can see we are having the sign for these numbers. The same thing as well, if we want to get the cosine, if we want to perform the cosine calculation. So I change this min to cost. So cost is the attribute that represents cosine. So when I run this as well, we have the value for the cosine. So to perform a calculation in coding or in numpy, is what you need to know is that you need to have the library, which is NumPy. Then you need to know the attribute present. So you call the attribute dot the attribute, then open bracket, close bracket, you pass in the variable holding the value. So that way you're able to perform a calculation. So we have come to the end of the basic calculations in NumPy.